What's up, everybody? Welcome to Otaku Time Machine, a show that takes you through anime archives of yesteryears. I am your Captain Frankfurter, and with me is my skipper, as always, Magically Average. How you doing this morning?
Good.
We are recording on a Saturday morning. It is
Yeah.
very different from our regular recording schedule, but this for a good reason. Today, we are not going through the yesteryears of anime. We are going to today's anime. We are going to review the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze Arc. Now, this will be a spoiler-free review, or as spoiler-free as we can get. We might do a segment towards the end where we get into spoilers, so you can probably just cut that out. But we will for sure let you know, hey, spoilers coming up. Close your ears, skip to 20 seconds ahead, etc. So, without further ado, the Chainsaw Man movie. You and I, since we are Crunchyroll subscribers of the whatever tier, we were able to go see the movie a few days early. We went to go see it on Wednesday. But Frank, Tyler, why didn't you record this earlier and get it out while, right before the movie came out? Well, we're busy people. So this was the first chance we really had to do that. So yeah, this movie we had anticipated. We discussed a few weeks ago. I feel like, or maybe at this point a month ago, what our thoughts were going to be about this movie in comparison to the Demon Slayer movie, and I'm kind of pleasantly surprised to say that this movie lived up to those expectations. I feel like both of us, we've read through this arc, or I think part one of Chainsaw Man, so it's like we knew what we were going to get here.
hmm
And because I knew what the plot was, I feel like for this movie, I was trying to pay most attention to details like in the background and other things rather than just like what was presently being shown on screen plot wise, because it's like, well, yes, I am interested in that. I am more interested to see all the small little details in the background. So just overall overarching thoughts, I really enjoyed this movie. I really thought it was great. It was well done. Animation was, it was great. If you've watched any other mappa shows, action shows, it was very reminiscent to those action scenes and how they animate that. The kind of slower moments, I'll call them, because if you even want to say there's a slow moment in this movie, the slower moments were absolutely brimming with detail and was beautiful, and I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
hmm
What about you?
I was floored, but it's unsurprising to me. I guess the things that worried me the most that I guess I had blocked from my brain leading into it was that they did change directors, like art directors
Mm,
between season 1 and the movie, and people were a little bit concerned that that might affect just how the characters were portrayed, and if it was too stark of a difference that it could be a little bit jarring for those that were expecting a specific style going into the movie. I honestly couldn't tell you if there was a difference or not. I would have had to have gone back and watched season 1. I can tell you that it stays true to Fujimoto's style, and everything was captured in a perfect manner, I thought. So it didn't impact me at all, but no, I start to finish was captivated. The sound design was excellent. I love that they basically just used and I'm gonna butcher the gentleman's name and I apologize, but I think it's Kenshu Yakazura. Is he the artist that wrote the original theme song? And then I think he did the whole, like, all of the actual songs from the movie too. Obviously, wrote Iris Out, which was the intro to the movie. Wrote Jane Doe. Wrote the ending sequence as well.
you're talking about the artist, like the person who made Kickback,
Yes,
Kenshi Yonzu.
Yonzu. Okay.
Or yeah,
I was close.
you were close, kind
Uh,
of.
but yeah, but I mean, he wrote basically the whole soundtrack to the film, other than like a lot of the orchestral parts I would imagine between scenes. But like all of the songs you
Right.
hear are him, with
Yeah.
help as well. So absolutely love that. No, I was I don't even want to say I was impressed because it's what I expected, but I certainly was not at all. Like any moment throughout the film, was I bored or did I feel like it was too slow or too quick? Like I thought it was excellent, well balanced through and through, and definitely solidifies my opinion. I don't know about you. I would imagine you're in the same boat as me, but it definitely solidifies the fact that this arc is could have only been done as a movie.
Yeah. Agreed. Because if we had gotten this, I don't think we could get through the next arc in a singular season of anime,
No,
unless it was like a two core, which Mappa's not going to do. Um,
not for Chainsaw Man.
no, so yeah, I agree that this should have been a movie. This was the correct call, and I'm happy for it. This you brought up the music, and that's kind of like one of the things that I wanted to talk about. That actually, not necessarily that it bugged me, but it was a little kind of like lower on my list is that they reuse songs from season one, like the outro songs. And while I do
Oh,
like those outro songs, I was just like, this could have been something else because like some of the timing on there was one specific scene, we'll call it a chase scene, where they used one of the outro songs, and like some of the moments in that song did not like time
they
well, I feel like, with that scene. So I was just like, I wish that they had done something different, whether it be an orchestral or like just like a metal song or something like in the background that has no lyrics, rather
yeah,
than reusing one of the most popular ending songs from the season one. So
they chopped it
I
up
think for
to try to fit
yeah,
it in.
and it didn't fit for me. I felt like some of the older songs that they used from season one just didn't work for me, unfortunately. But like it's still nice to hear them. But yeah, the new song that Kenshi Yonzu made Iris out is it's on my playlist now. Like
It's
it's so good.
it's so
It's
catchy.
so damn good. Um but yeah, no. So let's go on. I mean, do you have any negatives to say about this movie? Because I would say that the music choice in this and just kind of the timings that they had in some of the scenes weren't my favorite. That's kind of where my criticisms start. There are some very nitpicky things that I would say about animation, but that's just very nitpicky, and I'm not. It's not even worth bringing up
I,
at this point. So like that's kind of where my negatives begin and end.
yeah, I like I'm thinking back through. I don't have anything that stands out just because, and I'm sure people are going to be like, "You're so biased because you actually have read Chainsaw Man and you didn't read Demon Slayer." So blah. And it's like I I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I have higher expectations having read it going
Yeah.
into a film than I would have if I didn't read it. Because if I haven't read it, I have no bias on as to what I'm expecting to see or what I should be anticipating, right? So knowing the arc and clearly remembering everything that happens, I'm like, I better see it all. And I saw it all at a very high MAPPA level of animation quality. Because you can't really talk about the writing, because the writing I thought in this particular sequence in part one of Chainsaw Man was probably the most unique because it's so wholly separate from how the rest of part one sort of evolves.
Vibes.
Yeah, yeah. It's like there's this is just such a weird, like, isolated moment in the story that it's starkly different from the rest of it. So I was like, the writing itself stood out by far the most in this sequence. So I was pleased as to how that translated over into the film. I I mean, there really isn't any one thing that comes to mind. Um I will say this, it's not a spoiler of any kind, but something that I found hilarious having been scrolling through social media and watching people react to this. I've
Hmm.
found out through a number of different people that have very large followings that some people never watched season one or don't know
Oh
anything about
no.
anime and came in, but they loved it. They
I,
loved the film.
so to that notion, as soon as I got out of the theater, my wife had texted me. She was like, "Hey, text our friend about the movie." So I was like, I did. I texted them. I was like, "Hey, got out of the movie. Thought it was great. If you watched, or I thought it was a great movie. Yada yada yada." Thinking because like he never talks to me about anime. Like, and I
Yeah.
think he always had the interest, but never really watched any. And I woke up to a message the next morning, and he was like, "Oh, great! Like, do I need to watch anything before I go see this movie?" I'm like, Oh, absolutely. There's a
Yeah.
whole season one, or you'll be a little lost on characters and character introductions, etc. Like you're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get any of like the background of what their motivations are. You're not going to get any of the background of the world that they're living in. Like they just kind of throw you into this movie expecting you to have watched season one of the show, which, to be fair, all the other movies that we've seen to this point, essentially, so basically Demon Slayer, done the same thing. They just throw you straight into the movie without explaining anything because they just assume that you've watched it before,
Yeah.
which is fair. But yeah, that is kind of funny that that's happened to you because I've had at least one friend who's not into anime reach out and be like, "Was it good?"
Yeah. Well, but I say this to set up like my I guess I where I applaud the film too, and exactly what you were just referencing is that the movie just starts off as a literal continuation of where season one ends. There's no like it doesn't do the awkward like set do 10 minutes to like be like this is the world and devils exists here and there's an
Yeah.
association that kills them and this is our character cast like right. So it segues right into from season 1 ending into the movie. Which I thought, again, it's canonical. It's a part of the manga. That's what I would expect going into the movie because presumably you would have seen season 1 to want to go watch the movie. But there's a handful of people out there that either never watched season 1 but are anime fans, or some that I saw that are like movie critics that have
Hmm.
never watched an anime ever and went to go see it and absolutely loved it. So it's strange to me. Like, well, not strange. I guess that's probably not a correct way of phrasing it, but it's very intriguing to me how fans of all kinds, whether you're like just a movie buff or an anime fan or someone who absolutely adores Chainsaw Man specifically, can all go see it and have all had the same opinion of this movie is superb.
And I do wonder how much of that is to the credit of Demon Slayer for the fact that Demon Slayer grossed so much money in the United States that people were like, okay, hold on. This movie topped the box office. There's got to be a reason. But
Yeah.
it's the like, and people realizing, like, after reading reviews, like, oh, this is like the end of a very long running series. Maybe I'll just go catch the next thing, which Chainsaw Man is the next thing. And not realizing that the literal word arc is at the very end of the subtitle
Yeah.
of the movie. That it's just like this could be, yeah, like it is for all intents and purposes. Like this arc of the show is like its standalone thing. It's very different compared to what we'll get for the rest is part one.
Hmm.
Let alone even part two. Like there's nothing in part two that is like a standalone piece like
there's
this.
there's like a mini arc in part 2, but it's nowhere near like the
We
Reze
can just
arc.
we can discuss that because I have no idea which
There's a
part you're talking
penguin.
about.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I
oh,
said. Like
okay.
it's not even like an arc. It's like a mini
It's a
part.
flashback. It's a flashback. But
Eh,
yeah.
yeah. But
Anyways,
no,
but yeah,
it is weird to me though, because like I would tend to agree with you about the Demon Slayer thing, if not for the fact that I feel like with Mugen Train having Mugen Train come out so long ago, um,
hmm,
and then all of the My Hero movies too, that just didn't get a lot of like. They were popular, but I don't think they got anywhere close to the level of traction that the Infinity Castle Arc Part 1 movie got. I would say yes. It's odd to me though that these two movies specifically, the Infinity Castle arc and the Reze arc for Chainsaw Man, were so incredibly popular as opposed to all of the other like standalone movies, whether they're just a movie, right, that have like a limited release in theaters, or they're the non-canonical movie releases for different series that just don't have that level of attention. It's just I think that's the most surprising part to me is that people have gravitated, and I will agree with you that it's probably because of the level of hype and notoriety it received in Japan, and then obviously as it came over it just kind of grew and grew here. But it's still shocking to me that like the handful, what are we at, 4 My Hero movies I think in total,
I think there's three. Yeah, it's either three or four.
Three
I
or
want to say
four.
you're right. It's at four, but I'll look it
Yeah.
up.
And then, we've had, albeit, they're just movies. They're not a part of like an anime series,
You
but
are
we've
right.
had,
They are four.
hey, um but there's like also the handful of anime movies that would come over for like a limited release, I think the one that
Yeah,
stands
which
out is the oh my god, I'm going to forget the name of it. The door where he the
Suzume.
Suzume, thank you. Like that one was insanely popular, but it still like didn't get a lot of
Yeah,
like
because yeah,
discussion
I would
online and
agree.
everything like that. I think after the fact, when people were able to see it online versus in theaters, I don't want to attribute it to this, but it does help when you have a movie come out for multiple weeks as opposed to just like a weekend or God
Yeah,
forbid a
it does.
day, right? So,
Wasn't
but
that the
it
Kobayashi Dragon Maid movie? Didn't
yes,
that
and
happen for like
I didn't get to go see it because it literally was shown for one day at a theater that was no joke like 55 miles away from me, and I'm like,
it was
well,
on like a Tuesday, right?
yeah, it was like a Tuesday, or I'm like, oh my
It was
god,
either Tuesday
whatever.
or Wednesday this past week, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
that's fine. I'll
Uh,
see it when it comes out on Crunchyroll.
but I also am morbidly curious because my theater did something really strange. So, the theater that you saw it at,
Yes.
did they have previews and everything else?
No, my theater went right into the film.
Fuck you. I wish.
Like it was.
Mine had 30 minutes. I shit you not, 30 minutes
Whoa.
because my movie started at quote unquote 7:30. Preview started, 8 o'clock happened. I pulled my phone out. Was like, what the fuck? Texted my wife. I was like, this movie started quote unquote an hour and a half or a half an hour ago, and we're still watching ads.
That's
But
insane.
yeah, but what's weirder is that they had the same ad twice in there, and it was for the new movie Scarlet, which I am looking forward
Oh
to.
yeah, yeah.
The new animated movie. I forget which director it is. I don't remember if it's Hosoda or if it's the oh god damn it. Oh no. I
That's
forget
fine.
that the
Look it off on
yeah.
your own time. We'll get to it.
Um
But
but
no.
yeah, they did 30 minutes of previews and I was like, "What the
So
fuck?"
so Demon Slayer, I
It is
remember.
Hosoda, by the way.
Okay, Demon Slayer did show previews, but they were for like a bunch of random films. Well, most of them
Okay.
were animated, but they're not like exclusively to like Japanese animation. So that was all over the place. No, it was weird because we got into our theater early just because we were hopeful that they were gonna our theater had like some special Chainsaw Man stuff. It didn't. We went to an Imagine.
Mine didn't either.
Yeah, apparently only the AMC theaters got it. So Imagine was the
Was
only
it
one
the
doing
little
the early.
headband thing?
No, some of them had like Puchita popcorn buckets and stuff.
Fuck, I was looking for those, but I
Yeah,
went
but
to a
it was
Cinemark.
only AMC. I know. Well, like the Wednesday early showing was only at Imagine theaters near me. So I was like, we could
Ah,
have waited till Friday or Saturday, but then it's like, oh, we're gonna be fighting people for tickets, and I'm like, no, we're fine.
yeah.
Um, but no, we sat down probably like 20 minutes ahead of like when our movie was supposed to start at 7, and the screen is just blank.
Yeah.
We're just chatting and chatting, and I look over my phone and I'm like, it's 6:50, still like no like Watch Mojo or any of those other things that usually come up when you're at the theaters. 6:55 rolls around, still nothing. It was like 6:58, and like no warning either. So jump scare. We're in like the biggest theater at the Imagine where we went to. That
Mm-hmm.
has like the massive surround sound system, like the high quality updated one, and just boom, like it comes on. You're like, whoa, I'm awake, and it
Yeah.
did like one quick like, welcome to Imagine, take your seats. Here's your little like
Movie will be
disclaimer.
starting soon.
Yeah, and then it just goes into it, and I'm like, wow, there was no trailers. That's shocking.
That's really nice because yeah, we
Yeah,
got 30 minutes of ads or like trailers for new movies coming out that weren't animated. The only animated one that we saw was for Scarlet. Um,
that's so
so
odd.
there was yeah, it was really odd, but like at the same time, like now I know what Scarlet is and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Which y'all should go see it. It comes out I think early 2026. I don't think there's quite dates out yet, but neither here nor there.
keep it on your
I
radar.
was Yeah, I was scared though because I went to the same theater I saw the Demon Slayer movie at, and it was like the same type of theater, like it was the XD theater thing, but it was in
Oh,
the op. Yeah, so
because
if you didn't listen to
you
our
had
Demon Slayer
audio,
review,
you had audio
yeah,
issues, right?
if you didn't hear our Demon Slayer review, the audio in the Demon Slayer movie for me was way too soft to the point where I could hear my neighbors just like crunching on any sort of snack, even whispering, like I could hear them. Yeah, like it was that bad. But they sent us to the other theater, which is just like it's the same size, if not a little bit bigger. And in those previews, like the sound system was legitimately had a bass loud enough that it was like rattling my brain. I was like, okay, I don't think I have to worry about audio this
Uh-uh.
time around. And I didn't. The audio came
The
through great. It was wonderful. Fucking just shook everything around me. That's what I wanted.
the I will say the only thing audio related, because my wife said like she didn't really like she said there was something wrong with the mixing. I didn't hear any problem with it. The only thing I noticed, because I was going to say critique, it's not a critique, I imagine it's more in the theater, was like all of the dialogue was super clear. All of the like songs were perfectly tuned, like in terms of like leveling. But the moment that action started, it like progressively got louder. So like there was like one
Huh.
sequence of like explosions where you're just like, God, it was like Jesus Christ, you're like getting blown
Yeah.
back in your seat. Like, but because our theater was so loud too, like our my chair was rumbling and at times. But we were also
So,
like in the last row on the wall, like where obviously the
oh,
speakers are. So
yeah.
you're just your chair's just like
So yeah, I was actually nervous about seeing this because I thought I bought movies to the D box, which is like the special seats where they like turn and twist
oh
and
God.
vibrate with what's. I thought I had because the tickets. I don't know how much tickets were for you, but they were expensive for me.
I think they were
Um,
like $18 or something per ticket.
yeah, mine was 30.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, it was
Holy
not cheap.
moly!
It was not cheap to see it, and so that's why I was like, "Fuck, did I buy the seats that have, like, the rumble built in and all that?" But no, they didn't, which I'm at this point, I'm like, "I kinda wish it were for $30."
You get the
Um,
Shrek 40 experience where like you get wet in those specific scenes, and then like a basically a blow dryer is like shooting on you
yeah,
too. Not
but,
spoilers, don't worry.
no, all to say, to bring it back to the movie, I think that this movie was great. I don't know if you wanna
Yeah.
go into a spoiler segment and talk about, like,
No,
actual plot
I I'd rather
or
not.
just kinda keep it nice, short, and simple, just like, "Hey, go see" if you
I
haven't watched it, go watch season 1 and watch this movie while you
I
can.
well you can. Yeah. I'd rather not. I just it's the only thing I'll say about this movie, again, spoiler free, is if you have seen Chainsaw Man, like the first season of Chainsaw Man, and you haven't read it, this is starkly different in terms of just what we're gonna go through, right? Like the sequence of events is very pragmatic. There's a purpose behind it. If you get bored in the first half, you clearly misunderstood a lot of the purposes of these characters in season one, right? I I really, can we talk about content creators talking about this for a little bit? That's what I want to
I
finish with.
so yeah, that's fine because I
Cuz
honestly I've been off social media for the past few days just because I've been
good
busy with
man.
work and then just also yesterday I basically spent the evening watching the Dodgers get their backs blown out, which really was
I
unfortunate.
I I meant to record a video for this, a couple of them actually, and I was hit with stupid house stuff, so it soured my mood. So now I get to,
Yeah.
instead we get to talk about it on the podcast. But yeah, I mean, if we haven't highlighted already, if you've seen Chainsaw Man season 1 and or read it, if you have not seen it but like anime, or if you just love movies, apparently this is meant for all of you, because every single video I've seen on social media has been raving about Chainsaw Man from different perspectives too. It's like people that have never seen Chainsaw Man or have never watched an anime in their life all rave about it. My
Hmm.
one it's a big it's one like qualm with this that I is sort of morphed into other issues that I have with a lot of these content creators, is that while they are speaking very highly of the movie, they're their reasoning is an explanation is so far-fetched to me. It just
Oh,
confuses me. Well, I was before we started recording, I was downstairs making coffee, and I had like a video just popped up across my feed as I was pouring my cup of coffee, and it was this guy saying like, I went and watched Chainsaw Man, the movie. I had not seen the first season, which I was like, bold move, but let's hear him out. And they were talking about how they loved it. It was fantastic. It balances. It's such a well mixture of like romance type series with an heavy action packed ending. And I'm like, yep, that's kind of how this arc goes. And then, but they went like, the part that stood out to me was they said this is a great standalone film. And I was like, pause.
no.
This is canonical. Like this is a written arc from the manga. Like this isn't like a separate, wholly separate story. And then I kept getting videos of people being like, "Oh, it's so fantastic to see like such a drastic shift in tone from season 1 to this movie, and how like, Fujimoto is able to write this outside of the Chainsaw Man series." And I'm like, "No. This is in the manga, people."
This
And
is an actual arc.
it started to irk me because while everyone is speaking positively about it and suggesting other people go, it's the thing that gets me is this lack of research and due diligence for people that just come on, make a video, and they're like, "Oh, I love this non-canonical standalone film,
Oh
Chainsaw Man Reze
no.
Arc." And
Oh honey.
I'm like, no, this is. You can make an argument that sure, you don't have to see the movie if you don't want to going into season 2. I would argue that you should still, because there are still factors that lead into the remainder of part 1, but I digress. Like, it's a canonical arc to the manga series. It's like,
Yeah.
and I almost want to challenge people to be like, if you knew that this was a written portion of the manga, would it change your opinion? Like, if you came in with the mentality that this is a like a MHA type movie where it's wholly separate from the series, right? It just includes your favorite characters plus some new quirky ones that tag along, right? Like, if you come into it thinking that, and now I tell you this is a written part of its 10 or 13 chapters, however long it is in part 1, does your opinion change?
Yeah.
It just
I don't know if it necessarily changes, but it puts things into perspective, I would hope.
well, you'd hope, right? But like I kept
Because
seeing more and more.
this specific arc is like not necessarily to say the beginning of the end, but there are so many breadcrumbs in this movie of what's to
Oh
come
yeah.
in later seasons that it's just like
I
it
mean,
almost feels like a beginning of the end, like because so much happens
you
so quickly from here on out.
you get to see a pivotal character kind of like unveil their like take off their mask slightly, right? You get to see a little bit under the facade that they've portrayed of themselves, right? Like you get that. You also get just an expansion upon Denji as a character, and like, who
Oh,
he is
like
just as a person.
yeah, like this whole well, no, that's a spoiler. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say it.
I'm
So yeah, no, I'm just like I don't want to talk like that's why I asked
but
if we wanted to do spoilers because there's so much to talk
there
here about
there
like
is a
what's to
lot.
come and
There is a
how
lot.
much like
I want to
good
let
this movie is
I
like
want to
or
leave it
did.
as just that, because it's I want to encourage people, and again, of all types, to go and watch this film. But
Watch the show first, but yeah,
yeah, but that just it my wife, I was explaining to her, and she's like, "Why is that frustrating to you?" And I was like, "I think it's just because the rationale is skewed, because people have this opinion that it's a wholly separate story that's being told,
yeah.
and it's not. Like, it's sure it's it's a departure from season 1, and definitely for what's to come in season 2, right? It's like a side quest, as a lot of people have characterized it, but it's still like it's a purposeful, meaningful piece to all of that, like everything that's going to take place in part one. Like it has its place in the series. Like I need people to understand that. And that's why we've been comparing Demon Slayer Infinity Castle arc to the Chainsaw Man Reze arc movies,
Yeah.
because they're one in the same in that they are canonical films that are continuing the story along. It's just like in terms of how they come across as a movie versus if they were to be just captured in a season, which is the better version? The argument was always that Chainsaw Man would be, because this feels like a movie in how the arc kind of runs its course for those handful of chapters, right? Versus Demon Slayer has got 3 movies they have to do to finish up the series in the span of, like, I can't remember how many chapters we said. It was like 42 or something, 48 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think that was just so confusing to me. And again, I'm not like bashing these creators. I'm not trying to say that their opinion is now wrong and stupid. It's more just like I was shocked to hear that in their analysis, and I'm like, take a moment, go do your research first, because I would genuinely be interested to know, like, does your opinion change at all, or do you have a different perspective on the movie if you knew that this is written in the manga? Like, this is all a part of part 1. Like, does that impact how you feel about the film? Right?
Yeah. No.
I would almost challenge
I agree.
people who went in completely blind to go to, like, maybe even watch season 1 or read the chapters and then go back and watch it again to see, like, now do you feel the same? Has it has it shifted your views one way or another?
Yeah.
It
I
was
agree.
so jarring to me.
It is, yeah, it is always kind of interesting that people don't do research like this. There are things that you cannot do research on and be completely fine. Like me not going into everything everywhere all at once, completely blind. Wonderful. Great.
Oh
Don't do
yeah.
your research if you want to go see that movie. But when it's something like this where it's already has an established IP, you may want to do your research a little bit. Like Spy Family, yeah, you may want to do your research on if the movie was canonical or not. Spoilers, not canonical.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia, we know is non-canonical, but the Demon Slayer movies, canonical. The Jujutsu Kaisen movies, technically canonical because it's a retelling of season 2 plus a little bit of season 3 coming up. This is canonical. This movie was canonical, and it's just like it does baffle me that sometimes people don't do their research on already pre-existing IPs.
So my
Yeah.
my continuation and leading into, like, my final thought on it too, because you just brought up a great point, and I feel like this has definitely affected a lot of people that go, like, when anime movies come out and they're going into it, they have like a skewed perspective. I feel like I keep using the same words. I was
You
trying to
have
think of
said
something.
skewed a lot today.
I know. That's why I'm like, I gotta think of something else. Gotta bring out the thesaurus. But like Jujutsu Kaisen, Dan Da Dan, what other series have done it? I think those are probably the main
Witch
two.
Watch.
Oh yeah, Witch Watch. There are a lot of series where it's like, hey, the Witch Watch movie's coming out, or the Dan Da Dan movie's coming out, but it's just
Kaguya-sama movie's coming out.
yeah, but it's just like the X amount of episodes
Yeah.
from the prior season into the new season. Or if you're Witch Watch, it's like literally the first 4 episodes of season 1 or
3.
something? 3?
3 episodes.
Yeah. So I will say, to defend those that have gone into the Chainsaw Man movie blind, that it is confusing, right? Like how these quote unquote, I keep putting in quotes because I don't consider them movies keep coming out is a little it's confusing. Like the only one that stands out from that bunch would be Jujutsu Kaisen 0, right? Because that was a
Yeah, that's true.
we'll consider it
Prequel
a
movie.
prequel movie, right? But it's still written manga, right? It's just it's a everything that happens prior to season 1. Um,
Yeah.
but like there was the Jujutsu Kaisen movie that was the like final episode of season 1 into the beginning of season 2 or whatever, and then now there's the new one that's going to be like the final, like the Shibuya incident into like the first or episode or 2 of season 3, and then you have
Yeah. It's
Dandadan
a
that was the like the couple first episodes of season 2 or
it
core
was the
2.
yeah, it was the first 3 episodes of season 2.
Witch Watch was
But
the
yeah,
first 3 episodes. So like it is weird. I'll give them that. And
yeah, there
I
there are four. Now that I think of it, there are four different types of anime movies. There are the standalone anime movies that just exist, like a Studio Ghibli, Hosoda movie, etc. They're just an animated feature film.
mhm.
There are the non-canonical films where you have your My Hero Academia, etc., like where it's just it's in the universe, but it doesn't exist or doesn't like contribute to the story, isn't canon. They're the canonical films where you have like the Chainsaw Man, the Mugen Train. Those movies are movies,
A s-
but they are integral to the plot of the
Usually a
series.
singular arc.
Correct. And then you have your the first 3 episode movies or whatever. So your Kaguya-sama, your
Witch Watch,
wow,
Don to
Dan to
Don.
Dan, Witch Watch,
Yeah.
et cetera, and even Jujutsu Kaisen like
Yep.
is in there too.
Which
Like
is
they can all be in different buckets, but you have to do your research as to which bucket it's going to be in before you go
and
see the movie.
and again,
And
like
that's where people fail.
yeah, it's a lot of it is just on the viewers to know what exactly they're going to go into and watch. And I feel like for the Chainsaw Man Reze Arc movie, a lot of people just went, "Ooh, Chainsaw Man, I watched season 1 or I heard great things about season 1. I'm going to go in. It's a film. It looks pretty. Let's go see it," right? And to its credit, it was able to capture the hearts of the Chainsaw Man fans, the anime fans, and the movie fans all in one.
Yeah.
It's which is a rare feat. I feel like usually you lose people because they're too invested in the story or too invested in the characters, and if you for a movie that just kind of throws you into, all right, we're continuing the story. We're not pausing to get you guys caught up. Here we go.
Yep.
It was still able to captivate the audience through and through. So it's major applause to Fujimoto and his writing ability, but then also for the MAPPA team and all the other studios that worked on it to make something as beautiful and heart-wrenching as the Reze Arc movie. So kudos, but
Yes.
people, please, for the love of God, do your research. I
And
implore
applause to you, the viewers today who have gotten this far into our episode. We greatly
Yay.
appreciate you guys and gals and everybody in between for joining us this week in this special kind of review. We've been doing a little bit more of these special one-off episodes, a bit more because there have been a bit more one-off movies, etc., that have come to theaters. So if
Yeah.
you like this, please let us know you want to see us do more of these. We will absolutely do that, but you have to let us know. So please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. That was a redundant sentence,
Yeah.
whatever. We greatly appreciate any and all feedback. If you want more of us, please go follow us on social medias at Bakacopodcast, wherever you get your social media feed. But until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.